Hello everyone. It is that time of day again. I am just now pulling up the pattern because we're going to be continuing to work on the memorial plushie for my friend whose pet passed away. I did have to go out and get a different yarn for the what's supposed to be a sort of red-brown, but the closest I've gotten is more of a tan. Because apparently dogs, their colors are not quite what we find in yarn, shall we say. So, okay. Give me just a moment. I am pulling up. There we go. As always, my nose starts itching as soon as I start streaming. Real quick, let me show you a picture of the puppers we're working on a memorial for. So this was Monster. He was a retired racing greyhound. I promise their ribs are supposed to be visible like that. If you cannot actually see a greyhound's ribs, it means that they are overweight and unhealthy. The basket on his muzzle is actually a normal precaution for when you are bringing home a new greyhound, or even just when you've got two greyhounds in the same house, because they will nip as a way to play, and they don't realize just how thin their own skin is, and will end up tearing their own skin just by nipping. So they put the basket muzzle on, which prevents them from nipping one another until you're absolutely certain that they're not going to try and play that way. I promise it is not abusive. It is a case of this is for the dog's health, because with such thin skin, if they do get an injury, they can, just in the course of moving, open that injury further and cause themselves grievous harm. So, you also can use that particular basket muzzle as a, okay, no, you've just had a surgery. I believe that particular picture, Monster had just been spay or neutered, I think is the term for the male, but he had just been neutered, and they had that on as a way to prevent him from biting and chewing at the incision. Sometimes you can use a collar for them, but if it's not time for them to eat, the collar is just kind of more in the way for them than the bite mask. So I promise, though, it's not harmful in any way. It is better to have something like that on them than it is to let them risk injuring themselves badly. So, okay. But we're getting started to try and match up this piece with Monster's colors. We are working on his upper thigh on one leg, and I will probably be popping in and out of the picture to get a good idea to make certain that things match. Though right now I'm working on the top of the thigh, which means it's just going to be the regular color. I don't have to worry about matching. It's just one color, and then we will, as we get further down, add more. So, okay. Keep in mind, I can hear any or see any comments from viewers, since I am working in working outside of a game. So if you have any comments, questions, just want to say hi, feel free to do so. I am here and can respond to that. So, okay. And again, I am working from Ginny Seidenreich's Galgo pattern. It is a very cute plushie. I will not be providing the pattern to the stream because it was a paid pattern. So I won't be telling people how to make this themselves. You will have to buy the pattern, but it's always a good idea to buy it if you can. Support those artists who design the patterns, so they can keep making us nice new patterns to work from. If I get tired of working on this today, or I come across an issue and I have to pause, I do have another crochet project right beside me. It is a very, very tiny little octopus. The pattern for it was free, so, but it is really ridiculously tiny. I'm almost done with it. I have reached the point where I am working on the tentacles, so hope to have that finished tonight, but I'd like to work primarily on this plushie on the stream. So okay, so that's round. Alright, and periodically I might pop back over to the picture. That way I can see the picture and the pattern and my chat all at the same time. But primarily I'm just going to keep it with the camera on me. I did try to figure out what is going on with the colors, because I don't like the fact that the colors are not true to life, but I have yet to sort that out, so hopefully when I switch over to using, well, I was going to be using OBS Streamlabs, but I've heard from others that there are issues with that instead of using Twitch Studio, so I'm going to be checking in with the people I know who do streaming, see what they recommend, and try going from there. So we'll see. In the world of Mason, I do have a job interview lined up for tomorrow. It's for the bank that I used to work at, their call center. I know the work, but I would have to go through training again. Dependent on what times I will be working or in training, I might have to adjust my stream schedule. It is a 24/7 job that I could work at any time. I'm trying for overnight or evening shift, because those are what I prefer, but we'll have to see. And it really, the recruiter was trying to tell me that they don't have any open overnight positions, but she doesn't actually know what positions she's recruiting for. When she reaches out to somebody, she just knows, hey, we've got these positions that are open, or she doesn't even know what positions are open, she just knows we need these many bodies. And so she was just like, hey, you've worked for this company before, we see that you left on good terms, so you're eligible for rehire, and we'd like to set up an interview. And sent me, okay, do this speed test, do this typing test. I still need to do the typing test today, and fill in these forms for us so we have everything ready when you do your interview. So I'll be doing that after the stream. Okay, so was just checking my pattern again. Okay. This particular thigh is where things are going to get a little wonky, because I will be doing color swapping. I don't like doing what is effectively referred to as stranded color work, but for some projects, especially animals which have varied patterns, can't really help it. So hopefully I will do a good job on this, but we'll see. If I do have to change up my stream schedule, I will make it a point to let everyone know on stream within the next week or two, so that I can have everyone have advance notification that, hey, I won't be streaming at Sunday evenings, I'll be streaming blah. But again, it really depends on what hours and what days I get. So if they want me Monday through Friday in the evenings, great. I can just continue to do my streams as always. But it sounded like they're really looking for people to work at least one weekend day. If they do that, I'm going to request Saturdays, because my partner is off work on Sundays, and I'd kind of like to have at least one day where he and I are both off work together. I do prefer working weekends instead of weekdays, just because I like having at least one weekday free for, okay, my kid has a doctor's appointment or things of that nature. I just spotted a knot and I'm going to get rid of it before, there we go, before it reaches my hook. But like if my kid has a doctor's appointment, if my roommate has an appointment, or if I just need to do something that requires me to be available during weekday daytime hours, you know, I try to get that dealt with. And that's why I like to have at least one weekday free and work primarily on weekends if possible. Again, my favorite schedule I've had ever was the 3 days a week, 14 hours a day, but I don't think that's going to be available at this job. Okay. Okay. So, we'll just have to see how it goes, though. I mean, you can't really say, oh, it's definitely going to be this, or it's definitely not going to be that. Especially with corporate America. They don't always make things clear. And call centers are definitely not prone to being clear about, you know, when you'll be working. Like, the way that corporations structure things are not a good way to do it. For one, we should not be working 40 hours a week. We as a people generally have about, we can get most of our tasks done within like half of that 40 hours. Like if you give someone what the business says is 40 hours worth of work, they'll get it done in around 20. Most of the corporate structure is based on work that required physical hands-on labor, and the 40 hours was technically a compromise because the previous before certain labor laws were put into place, people were expected to work anytime they weren't sleeping, basically. But with technology having advanced as it is, we don't need so many hours hands-on anymore. Like a lot of people since the pandemic have realized that the majority of their workday was actually the commute. And since they're working from home now, they don't have to do that commute, and suddenly they've got another hour, 2 hours, 4 hours that they're free. And people like me, I've discovered that even when working a call center, I would regularly, while working from home, have time in between calls when I could crochet, paint, all of these things that I wasn't able to do while I was in the call center. Now I do know that this particular job I'll be doing, I'm not supposed to have anything that I could write with available because, you know, I'll be working with very confidential people's social security numbers, their bank account numbers, all sorts of stuff that, you know, you kind of want to keep private, which, fine, great. But it means that I won't be able to do things like writing, but crochet is fine. I used to do that even in the call center. In fact, I taught several of my co-workers how to crochet while I was working there. Hold on a moment, I'm popping back over. Okay, I need to start switching to white on the sides and insides at this point. So, let me pull up the previous bit that I've gotten done. Okay. So this is the finished thigh for the other side, which because of his coloration I could do as just white. And then I promise this is not what it looks like, but this is one of the forelegs, and you just attach like that, so you've got thigh and leg. It's going to be a very big plushie. Like, foreleg alone is that long. And while, yes, I have a fairly small head, okay, so joins here and here. Okay, so it'll be the back. So, okay. So I am switching to cream colored instead of the red. Actually, I need to pull that. Okay. Yeah, proper switch. Funny. Okay, so I'm gonna need to do one. I'm down to the part where I'm going to be working just in single crochet rounds, so I'm not too worried about the color swap being tricky or difficult, because I'm not doing increases or decreases. Okay, so it's 30. Let's do 5 of this. Then swap to the red again, which thankfully is easy to do since I'm working from the inside of the pupper's leg. So, as long as I don't do something foolish, such as what I just did, okay. There we go, that's what I needed to do. Okay, there. Just got to make certain that I keep it loose enough that I don't accidentally tighten things and make the leg shape weird. Oops. No. Okay. Now I swap back to the white. And again, I make certain I don't pull it so tight that I end up with something that makes it really difficult to not mess up the pattern. Okay. The rest of the way around is just going to be in the cream or white, whatever we want to call it. And then I will be able to swap back to the red when I get to that point again. And we'll just, for a little bit, swap between the red and the white whenever we hit that point. In fact, for the majority of the thigh. So I always feel sad that I can't get exact on these kind of things. But there's really only so much you can do when you're working, one, from photographs rather than from the actual animal, and two, when you're working in yarn or something similar. Even cloth is a bit easier to work with because you can just, okay, I just need to cut this piece to be this shape and size, and then I can patch it into this other piece, you know. But when you're working with crochet or knitting, you're not doing that. You're adding or subtracting stitches to make a particular shape in a particular color. And, you know, sometimes you can get pretty accurate, but it can be really difficult, especially when you've got something where, you know, it's not necessarily evenly shaped. So that looks like just what I'm doing will work pretty good if I go down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the swapping back and forth will work just fine on this. Okay. 5. Okay, so. And then, once I finish this, what I might do is I might go and get some of my polyfiber and stuff things and see how they look stuffed and get those pieces sewn together so that they will be ready when it is time to make the actual piecing everything together, putting the puppers as a puppers instead of disparate bits of, well, puppy. Okay. So, here we go. Next round. And I will hold this up here in a few to show you guys what I've done and what I'm doing. Both front and back, though it might be hard to see because, again, I have not figured out how to solve the issue with the camera not showing colors as well as what it should. At some point, going to have to sit down with some of my friends who stream much more and much more regularly than I do and see what they do to make the camera show the right colors, because some of them do things like mini painting, or, you know, things like that that require much more accurate colors than when you're just playing a video game and the only thing people see on camera is your face. I was trying to mess with the camera today and try and sort it, but it's just not as simple as I'd hoped it would be, so we'll see. Okay. And probably going to go for about an hour today, just so y'all know in advance. I do have other stuff I need to do before the end of my day. Like I said, I've got to do the typing test. I've got to fill out some paperwork for that interview. Nothing that's, you know, can't be done in the evening or even after I wake up, but I'd rather get it done today and not have to worry about it tomorrow morning or tomorrow when I do wake up, and can just focus on getting ready for the interview and then the things that I need to do after the interview. Because if they say, okay, awesome, we just need you to come in to do a drug test, awesome, cool, I'll be there. Things like that. So, okay. I'm going to hold this up and show you guys. Yep, I was right. You really can't see the colors. So, this is what is the red-ish. And then, if you look here, you can see how it changes from the cream to the red. And then on the back, you can see there's these strands. Well, let me move some things out of the way. Okay. If you look here, you can see these strings that are attached. Those are where I'm having to drift the color from one side over to the next. When I swap from cream to red and back. So, that's what those are. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so... other things in the world of Mason. of course, we were all mourning the loss of Betty White and Simon Poitier. Also, Bob Saget passed away earlier today. I believe there have been some passings of some artists and authors that I am not as knowledgeable about. I believe there was at least one activist that just passed away, but I know that Desmond Tutu passed away, but I can't remember if that was this week or last week. So things keep, 2022 is not off to the greatest start, I suppose, when it comes to icons and celebrities. As always, I'm far more concerned about the passing of humanitarians, artists, authors that are known particularly for their good works, their efforts to better the lives of others. But it's also sad when you see someone who, was a childhood familiarity, shall we say. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they're just a celebrity, but then you have people like Betty White who actually use their celebrity to help others. You have Simon Poitier, who I'm trying to pronounce his name right, but I don't know if I'm doing so. But he opened the way for many, many of the actors that we know and love today who are African American, so that they could get parts that weren't just playing the stereotypes. It's kind of like I was having a discussion with a group that I'm in online, my Knitting and Crochet Guild, actually. We were discussing different actors from Hogan's Heroes and how almost all of the actors that played the German soldiers and leadership were Jews, some of which had even spent time in concentration camps, and at least the one who played Klink, the head of the military for that, had basically said that if he's ever right about anything, this German officer, then you will no longer have me as an actor for this role, because I will walk away. And so, while no, it's certainly not wise to worship any celebrity, but ones who have made it a point to actually try and better the lives of others, it's at least worthwhile to give them some respect when they pass. Okay, so I need to do 2 more rounds, and then I have to decrease some, which is going to be interesting because I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with the color that is currently following the path of the leg. So we'll see how far I get tonight before I end the stream. We've still got about 30 minutes. Let's see. If you have a good eye, which I know that with the camera not really showing colors properly, it's not going to do me any good to hold this up and show you guys, because you won't be able to see what I'm talking about. But when I'm doing the swap from one color to the next, I actually get an area where it is slightly thinner. The weave is not as thick. That's something I'm going to have to go back and sew just to ensure that stuffing doesn't show through it, because of how these things are made and done. So another color swap over to the cream, once again pulling it to make certain I don't end up with too much pull from the new stitches, because we don't want it to be warped and oddly shaped because of me having... Nope. Young lady? No. Sorry. The cat is actually named Lady, but young lady is how I tell the cat that no, they are not behaving correctly. She was trying to get in my lap, which she is very prone to chasing strings and threads when I'm crocheting, and therefore, no. She does not get on my lap, especially when I'm crocheting. However, she seems to have decided that she will accept laying down on the rainbow blanket instead. She is currently making biscuits on it, and then looking at me dolefully to say, look what I'm having to do, because I can't lay on you. Nope. She thought that the doleful looks were going to get sympathy for her. They don't. Okay. So finish this, then one more round, and we will swap to the next part of the pattern. Okay. And okay. Here. There. Now there's a big bag full of yarn in the way, and you can't lay on me. Ha. Okay. Oh, now she just looks peeved. Okay. So that was that round. One more to go. And then we'll have to start decreasing. So some fun things that are going on in my world. My partner has decided that he is going to start trying to lose weight. I think he feels badly because I've lost a lot of weight, and he feels like he hasn't done anything towards it. Mostly, I'm just glad that he's trying, because our doctor has for some time been concerned about his knees, and losing weight is going to help to reduce the pressure that those are under. So, but I'm trying to have to explain to him keto is not a good idea for him. He really loves carbs, and if he's trying to eat keto, that means increasing fats and decreasing carbs. He's not going to decrease the carbs enough for the keto to actually do anything, and is just going to end up hurting himself by eating that large amount of fat without the reduction in sugar and carbs. So instead, he and I discussed it today. He's going to try walking more. We're going to get him a fitness tracker just like the one I have. I'm sorry you just missed that, but she attempted to flop down on the blanket, and because she is more round than Cat, she, on trying to flop down, ended up rolling sideways all the way over onto my foot because the couch cushions are slanted some. And so, it just rolling tub of kitty. She is also on a diet, but is not... She doesn't have a choice about the diet. She only gets X amount of food per day, and we actually put it in a little ball that she has to bat around to knock the food out, because otherwise she will not exercise on her own. She has finally started playing on her own, which is nice, but she doesn't do it quite enough to get the weight off, so we keep her on a very strict, controlled amount of food, because we want her to be healthy, and we want her to live a very long time, and because cats are quadrupedal rather than bipedal, it actually affects their joints a lot more when they're overweight. Like, it's not good for a human to be too heavy, but for cats it's actually a lot worse. And 1 pound makes a huge difference when you're a 8-pound animal versus a 270-pound human. So while the videos of kitty cats who are very, very chunk are adorable, they're also not good for the kitties. So let's keep our cats nice and healthy instead, okay? Okay. Humans can make our own decisions on whether or not we want to be healthy, but if someone wants to be healthier, I will support them in whatever way that takes. So, but again, we're going to get a fitness tracker. We're going to start keeping track of how much food my partner ingests, so calorie-wise, and then work out from there what he needs to be doing on exercise. The general goal is for a healthy and safe weight loss, and this is per not just the doctors, but also like health.gov, things like that. But the goal is 1,000 calories more energy expended per day than calories taken in. But please, 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 if you're going to do that, do speak with your doctor first. Make absolutely certain that any weight loss you do will be handled safely. Okay? Don't take a streamer's word on it, even if, I lost quite a bit of weight. I did so in ways that were very dangerous and could have killed me. I was trying to meet the BMI goal. BMI is bullshit. I've talked about this before. Please don't do anything that will hurt you. Talk to your doctor, okay? Don't take my word on the... what is it? LeVar Burton used to say, but you don't have to take my word for it. Something like that. It's been a long time since I've watched Reading Rainbow. Okay. So I am decreasing by 6 stitches this round. So I think I'm going to right in the... Well, I just decreased. Yeah, I think when I decrease on the round with the off color, not the cream, then I think I will do a decrease there and just make it a point to only do that one decrease on it. So, okay. And it's going to be right in the middle, so that works out. Alright. Okay. So. There we go. Okay. And I can just continue from here. Do another decrease. Once I have completed this bit with the various decreases, then I'll have another couple rounds with no decreases whatsoever, and then one more round that'll have decreases. So hold on, I'm checking something real quick. Okay. I think it's coming along well. I'll show you guys in a few. Just realized I have to count stitches because I lost track of where I was, though. Okay, that's what I thought. But along with the eating a little bit better, trying to encourage more vegetables, more fruits, less soda, and less fried things. We did get them in an air fryer for Christmas, which should be a little bit healthier. People keep telling me air fried food is healthier.
Less oils.
Ah, well, per roommate, less oils, so who knows. Okay, I'm pretty sure it is healthier, though. The The air fryer, by the way, I think today is the first day that it has not gotten used since it was open Christmas. So, if nothing else,
It's not the first day, it's like the second.
oh, roommate says it's not the first, it's the second day. But yeah, it gets a lot of use in our house. And it's not even for, traditionally fried foods. Like, it's been used to just reheat things that we want a nice crispy sensation on, and they would otherwise not be because they were reheated. Okay. So I feel that we are definitely going to get our money's worth from this investment. All it was a specialty lid for the Instapot, which I got him as a Christmas gift or maybe a birthday gift several years ago now. But I do think it's going to be worthwhile that we got it, and I do need to at some point go and write up a review on the site that I bought it from, because it's always good to support things that you actually use and that do make things easier in your household and in your life. Alright. So swapping back over to the red. Not that it's actually red, it's more tan. But whatever. I don't see colors normally. In the store when I was buying this, I actually had to stop one of the workers and go, here's a picture of a dog. Can you tell me if this matches this dog's fur color? She thought that was hilarious. So, at least my inability to see color makes some people's lives better. Even if it's only in getting to laugh at me. But, okay. But we're also going to be walking together, hopefully. We have to be careful because he does have to do physical therapy for his knees and ankles because they're in really bad condition, so we don't want to overdo things. And I keep having to explain to him that no, we don't start walking by running marathons. We have to build up to that. But I also understand the frustration of, I should be able to do this. Why can't I? Since I am myself, after having surgery, sitting here going, I know that I can do this. Why do I have to not? Just because somebody said, well, you shouldn't do this until X date after surgery. It's like, why can't I pick that up? Well, because you could hurt yourself, dumbass. And yet I do it anyway half the time. Because, I'm used to being able to do it, so not being able to is kind of frustration. Okay. One more of this round, then we're going to have another round of decreases. At which point we will then have just a couple more rounds to finish off, and then I can go get the fiberfill and stuff these legs and sew them up so they hopefully stop looking like penises, because that's what they look like right now. Except for the thighs. The thighs don't look like penises. The thighs look like ball sacks. Okay. Swapping colors again. My yarn's getting tangled because I'm having to work with two colors at once, which is another problem with doing stranded color work and part of why I don't like doing it. But it is worth it to get the correct product that looks right for the animal, so. Okay. Oops. I think if I do finish and get all of these bits stuffed and I have a little bit of work or a little bit of time left in the planned stream, I will probably work on that little octopus a bit, because it is tiny and it is adorable. Like, it's going to be small enough it can sit on the tips of 2 fingers, so... Alright. Okay. But, hey, we're making progress on this, which is good. Progress is very good, especially with things like this, where I have a nasty tendency to get, like, halfway done with it and then just stop, because I get paralyzed by the fear of, well, what if I finish it and I send it to them and they don't like it? What if they get it and they say, oh, that doesn't actually look like the animal it's supposed to be a memorial for? Which has actually happened with one of the 2 memorial plushies I've made. Because the animal in question had a very particular coloration, and I was not able to match it pretty much exactly, which was what the person had been hoping for. Problem there is the previous memorial I had made for this particular person was of an animal that was all black. There was no concern about matching the color, because it was all one color. So of course it looked exact on that one, and not on the one that was multiple colored. Okay. Alright, so how do I do this next round of decreases? Okay. Taking it down to 18 then. Alright. I will thin out the round one more time on the colors. We will just decrease in that once. Okay. So, right. Let's see, other things of note. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I might have a decrease round that happens twice in the color change, so that could get in my way. We'll see. We'll see. Yep, doing a decrease right here. But there won't be another one. Okay, good. That works then. But yeah, if that's, like I was saying earlier, with it can be really difficult, especially with memorial pieces, because the person has their very strong memories of the animal, and if you're like me, you've never actually interacted with this animal in its life. So there's a good chance you're not going to get it perfect on the appearance. And it can be hard for people, especially who have just lost a beloved pet, to accept that the memorial that you're doing is not going to be perfect. And, like, I don't blame the friend that was upset because it wasn't perfect, because he was grieving. And again, the previous one had basically been perfect. In fact, he actually, the previous one had been done before his pet died, because we knew it was coming, because it was a very, very old animal. And so he was able to get a photo of the actual animal with the memorial plush right next to it. And yeah, they were exact same size, exact same color, you know. So yeah, I can absolutely see why he expected that with the next one. But you just can't sometimes. Okay. I did say that I'm perfectly willing to go back and make any changes necessary later on, if it's something that is feasible within working with cloth. Like, he says that the ears are a bit too big. Okay, I can shorten those ears. You know, things like that. But some things only you really can't unless you just make a brand new plush. So Alright, so just a few more of these rounds, and we will be done with the thigh, and we can stuff the thighs and legs and get them all sewn together. So then I just have to do the body, and the ears, and the tail, and the head, and then we'll be done with it. But at least we're done on all of the decrease rounds for this, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Walking more, trying to eat a little better. I'm not dieting anymore. I'm just I keep track of my weight every day, and I keep track of my blood sugar, and I adjust what I've eaten, what I will be eating for the day based on that. I'm wanting to keep the blood sugar within a certain bounds and the weight under a certain amount, at least until I start lifting, at which point I'm not going to pay attention to the weight so much as pay attention to whether I'm building muscle or whether I'm gaining fat. Those are the two considerations there. Because if you want to be strong, and actually strong, you do have to have some fat to help support that weight, or that muscle, and to act as an energy store for in the event that, you know, you didn't eat enough and then you're burning a ton of calories. So, okay. Sorry. So, showing you guys what we've got now. Looks kind of like a hot air balloon. Just tiny. Very cute. And once again, my yarn is tangled. Hazard of working with two colors. This is to be expected. Okay. So that should have been... Let me count rounds real quick. Perfect. I'm right where I thought I was. Okay. I need to double check and see just how far down that color goes. So, swapping. Goes almost all the way to the knee. So yeah, I'm just going to do the entirety of the thigh with the two colors. Okay. The real fun is going to be when I get to doing the actual body, because it means I'm going to have to color swap every single round for the entirety of the body. Okay. Because the doggo had a saddle. Okay, I don't think we're going to have any time to work on the octopus, not if I want to keep it down to just an hour today. Because I am probably not going to finish this before the hour's up, which is fine, I don't mind that, but it does mean that the stream will be ending before I finish the leg. I might keep the stream going at least until I get this leg finished, but we'll see. Okay. Alright, that was that round. 3 more rounds to go, so we'll see. Okay. Come on, you. Okay. I'm actually, to ensure that the stitch doesn't pull that excess that's inside too tightly, I'm sticking a finger between it and the surface that I'm working on, which generally gives me enough play that I don't have to worry that it's going to misshape the item. With the when I was doing the memorial that had the two colors that were frequent swaps, very frequent swaps, I actually went through after I was done and cut those internal threads and then tied them so they wouldn't come loose inside and risk pulling the stitches loose. But that was a lot of work. I don't think I'm going to do that for this unless I see signs that it's going to be like either too loose or too tight and misshape the body. So, 2 more rounds after this one. There we go. Continues to look like a 2-color weather balloon. Or, not weather balloon, hot air balloon. Or the end of a bone. That's, my brain keeps saying, that's a femur. The end of a femur. But no, it is not. It is a dog's leg. Part of one. The other part of which looks like a dick.
It's at least the part of the leg that would have the femur.
Yes, it is. Roommate adds that it's the part of the leg that would have the femur, so. Okay. Sometimes my roommate sits in here while I'm doing my streams and adds the comments from the peanut gallery, since I don't normally get commenters actually in Twitch. So. Let's see, there's that. Swapping back over to the white or cream or whatever you want to call it. Gonna do another row count, just to make certain I'm where I think I am. I really do need to remember to start using my row counting things. I think I've showed those off before. It looks like a little ring, and you just tap the button on it every time you finish a row, and oh look, now I know where I am instead of having to sit and count again. Very useful. I need to stop forgetting that I own some. Especially since I bought a big pack of them, so I wouldn't have to, like, okay, I'm at this row on this project, but I need the row counter for that project, so let me real quick write down where I am on this project, and then clear the row counter and use it for the other one. No, now I have a whole bunch of them, so I can just keep each one by whatever thing I'm working on. At least that was the theory. Theory and practice don't always happen, though. Or don't always match up. Okay, so row count. Yep, I'm exactly where I thought I was. Good. Okay. So one good thing about doing all of these color swaps is I don't have to worry about sewing in the second yarn, because it's pretty much entirely internal for this piece. I only have to worry about the first yarn, the main color, to ensure that it has a proper seaming, because the other color is all going to get tied up inside with the stuffing, and I don't have to worry about it coming loose for the most part. Okay. At most, I'll need to go in, turn this inside out, and use the tail from that to make certain that everything's nice and tight so stuffing doesn't show through the stitches. But that shouldn't really be an issue, because I have my naturally very, very tight stitch definition. So, alright. We are coming to the very end of this thigh. So, my goal is to have this plushie finished by the end of January so that I can get it mailed off and my friend and their husband can have it. Which will mean it took a much less time than the last memorial plushie I did, which took 6-ish months. Because, again, I kept being paralyzed by, what if I screw this up? What if I don't do it right? What if they don't like it? Oh, I cut that much shorter than intended. Oh well, it's fine. I've got a long yarn tail for the other. Okay. Alright. There we go. Top of the thigh. And right at the 1 hour mark. So, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end the stream. And I will stuff these pieces, seam them together, get them all ready so that next crafting stream I can show them off along with, hopefully, further progress on this particular piece. That said, I do want to thank everyone who came out to the stream tonight. I want to ask that you take care of yourself next week, that you take care of each other, and be back here on Thursday for the gaming stream. See you later. Bye.